Internet service provider.
An Internet service provider is an organization that provides services for accessing, using, or participating in the Internet. Internet service providers may be organized in various forms, such as commercial, community-owned, non-profit, or otherwise privately owned. Internet services typically provided by ISPs include Internet access, Internet transit, domain name registration, web hosting, co-location.
History.
The Internet was developed as a network between government research laboratories and participating departments of universities. By the late 1980s, a process was set in place towards public, commercial use of the Internet. The remaining restrictions were removed by 1995, 4 years after the invention of the World Wide Web. In 1989, first ISPs were established in Australia and the United States. In Brookline, Massachusetts-based The World became the first commercial ISP in the U.S. Its first customer was served in November 1989. On April 23, 2014, the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, is reported to be considering a new rule that will permit Internet service providers to offer content providers a faster track to send content, thus reversing their earlier net neutrality position. A possible solution to net neutrality concerns may be municipal broadband, according to Dr. Susan Crawford, a legal and technology expert at Harvard Law School.
Classification. Access providers.
Internet access is provided by ISPs that employ a range of technologies to connect users to their network. Available technologies have ranged from computer modems with acoustic couplers to telephone lines, to television cable, CATV, wireless Ethernet, Wi-Fi, and fiber optics. For users and small businesses, traditional options include copper wires to provide dial-up, DSL, typically asymmetric digital subscriber line, ADSL, cable modem or integrated services digital network, ISDN, typically basic rate interface. Using fiber optics to end users is called fiber to the home or similar names. For customers with more demanding requirements, such as medium to large businesses, or other ISPs, higher speed DSL, such as single-pair high-speed digital subscriber line, Ethernet, Metropolitan Ethernet, Gigabit Ethernet, Frame Relay, ISDN Primary Rate Interface, ATM, Asynchronous Transfer Mode, and Synchronous Optical Networking, SONET, can be used. Wireless access is another option, including satellite Internet access. Many access providers also provide hosting and email services.
Mailbox providers.
A mailbox provider is an organization that provides services for hosting electronic mail domains with access to storage for mailboxes. It provides email servers to send, receive, accept, and store email for end users or other organizations. Many mailbox providers are also access providers, while others aren't, for example, Yahoo Mail, Hotmail, Gmail, AOL Mail, PO Box. The definition given in RFC 6650 covers email hosting services, as well as the relevant department of companies, universities, organizations, groups, and individuals that manage their mail servers themselves. The task is typically accomplished by implementing Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, SMTP, and possibly providing access to messages through Internet Message Access Protocol, IMAP, the Post Office Protocol, IBMail, or a proprietary protocol.
Hosting ISPs.
Internet hosting services provide email, web hosting, or online storage services. Other services include virtual server, cloud services, or physical server operation.
Transit ISPs.
Just as their customers pay them for Internet access, ISPs themselves pay upstream ISPs for Internet access. An upstream ISP usually has a larger network than the contracting ISP or is able to provide the contracting ISP with access to parts of the Internet the contracting ISP by itself has no access to. In the simplest case, a single connection is established to an upstream ISP and is used to transmit data to or from areas of the Internet beyond the home network. This mode of interconnection is often cascaded multiple times until reaching a Tier 1 carrier. In reality, the situation is often more complex. ISPs with more than one point of presence, POP, may have separate connections to an upstream ISP at multiple POPs, or they may be customers of multiple upstream ISPs and may have connections to each one of them at one or more point of presence. Transit ISPs provide large amounts of bandwidth for connecting hosting ISPs and access ISPs.
Virtual ISPs.
A virtual ISP, VISP, is an operation that purchases services from another ISP, sometimes called a wholesale ISP in this context, which allow the VISP's customers to access the Internet using services and infrastructure owned and operated by the wholesale ISP. It is akin to mobile virtual network operators and competitive local exchange carriers for voice communications.
Free ISPs.
Free ISPs are Internet service providers that provide service free of charge. Many free ISPs display advertisements while the user is connected. Like commercial television, in a sense they are selling the user's attention to the advertiser. Other free ISPs, sometimes called free nets, are run on a non-profit basis, usually with volunteer staff.
Wireless ISP.
A wireless Internet service provider, WISP, is an Internet service provider with a network based on wireless networking. Technology may include commonplace Wi-Fi wireless mesh networking, or proprietary equipment designed to operate over open 900 MHz, 2.4 GHz, 4.9, 5.2, 5.4, 5.7 and 5.8 GHz bands or licensed frequencies in the UHF band, including the MMDS frequency band, and LMDS.
Peering.
ISPs may engage in peering, where multiple ISPs interconnect at peering points or Internet exchange points, IXs, allowing routing of data between each network, without charging one another for the data transmitted, data that would otherwise have passed through a third upstream ISP, incurring charges from the upstream ISP. ISPs requiring no upstream and having only customers, end customers and/or peer ISPs, are called Tier 1 ISPs. Network hardware, software and specifications, as well as the expertise of network management personnel are important in ensuring that data follows the most efficient route, and upstream connections work reliably. A trade-off between cost and efficiency is possible.
Law enforcement and intelligence assistance.
Internet service providers in many countries are legally required, for example via CALEA in the US, to allow law enforcement agencies to monitor some or all of the information transmitted by the ISP. Furthermore, in some countries ISPs are subject to monitoring by intelligence agencies. In the US, a controversial NSA program known as PRISM provides for broad monitoring of Internet users' traffic and has raised concerns about potential violation of the privacy protections in the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution. Modern ISPs integrate a wide array of surveillance and packet sniffing equipment into their networks, which then feeds the data to law enforcement intelligence networks, such as DCSNET in the United States, or SORM in Russia, allowing monitoring of Internet traffic in real time.